Right, everyone, here we are with another video with Invest for Tomorrow. And to all the first time viewers and investors, welcome to the channel, and to all the subscribers, welcome back. Now, all I ask for in return is for you to smash that like button to let me know you watch this video. It helps out with the YouTube channel and the algorithm, and it lets me know you appreciate the time and effort I put into making these videos. Now, we're going to discuss here ZOM Stock, Zomedica, and how it's reacted, but I also want you guys to be aware that after we're done talking about this chart, I have another chart to talk about, and we're going to talk about a stock that I've mentioned over at the Patreon and how it's reacting and where it's at now and what I believe moving forward. Now, if you guys want to get live access to the stocks I'm watching every single morning when an opportunity presents itself, you can join us over at the Patreon and you'll gain access to the Discord where I do that. Now, if you want access to the weekly watch list that I'm watching every single week with opportunities to swing trade and even possibly long-term hold, you can join us as well in the Patreon. So here we are. Zomedica Corp has fallen. I talked about the ins and outs of what's going on with this stock, what to look for, the real weakness, and where we're at, right? I talked about how we touched 133, super important support level, and it was broken through, which was the support we were looking at. From the days before, it had broken through that, and then yesterday's support was down here at 133. That got crossed, and if it did, we will see this get closer to $1. But as long as it held above $1, I would see some strength. Now, I also talked about the point that depending on where you got in on this stock, we will have a reversal at some point, and we're already seeing it. We'll have to see how much strength this has, because it does have to cool off before another run. Or it can run again, and then it's going to have to cool off and then run again. And we might see some type of, reversal swing trading opportunities, right? It kind of comes up, then it comes back down, or it can even go a little bit lower and then come back up, come back up, come back up, and then come back down, and then come back up, and then down. And, that bullish rally momentum, right? But, pullbacks, newer highs, newer lows. But we have to first see what's going on, right? I did talk about that a reversal was coming, and we see a support here that was actually used, and it was 112, and then down here at 113. Around that area, the bulls and the bears were fighting, and the bulls finally reappeared and brought this one back up. I mean, that was a big opportunity. Something I'm noticing about Zomedica is that it's becoming more of a swing trade / day trade momentum stock, okay? We know it as the stock that we want to hold long term. If you have a position that you got in below $1, right, you can look at that as your long-term position, but you should start looking into the momentum of this stock so that as this stock falls or moves up and down through all the volatility, you make some money too while you're waiting for your stock to multiply by 2, 3, 4, depending on how you feel about this stock, right? I believe that the highest this could go is anywhere between 250 to 350 based off of analysis ratings, all the articles that I've read. But I also stated that there's a lot of weakness, and that could take months, years, or even the next half decade, right? The next 5 years or more. So that is something to be aware of. But right now, this is looking like a momentum stock. You can see it every single time it dips, it pulls right back up, and opportunities are presenting themselves constantly. But not only is it that it's a momentum stock, but also it's coming back up closer to where its true support is supposed to be. According to articles and analysis ratings, everyone's saying that the true support is around 150. So if it's below that, it should pop back up to that area, and that's where it should consolidate before the next run. And from 150 to 175, kind of hang out in that channel until we know if Truforma is really going to give, right, Zomedica an opportunity to make some revenue, and that revenue turn into net profit. So those are some of the interesting things I'm seeing about this stock. I did talk about how it could reverse, but how high could it reverse? I'm not sure. It could possibly touch 170, 180, maybe get back up closer to $2, and then kind of get rejected again before ever ending back up at this area. So that's the problem right now with this stock. And then I wouldn't really tell someone to double down or double dip on a stock that they're already losing or that they've been in the red on just to average down, and then the risk is even higher now because the more you leverage in, the higher the losses can turn into if this does pull back down, because it's not guaranteed to jump back up. But I did talk about a possible reversal. We're starting to see it once it hit its bottom. It might look like this is the bottom, or if not, this could be not a trap, not a bull trap, but a joke when we call it, right? A joke because it literally jumped up and it really fooled us, because it's just pulling right back down and it's going to hit newer lows. So as long as it stays above $1, it's good. But above 133, even better, okay? Even if it consolidates and kind of just hangs out here and doesn't go any higher or any lower, but kind of stays above 133, I would see some healthiness here. I'm not saying healthiness for a run, but just healthiness for the stock overall. So keep that in mind. Could this continue to jump up? Possibly. If this is truly a trend reversal here, this can possibly jump up a little bit. And you know what's funny? Our resistance is 2 days ago's support, right? And that's where it got rejected, literally at that point right there, 145. It got rejected right there and fell back down. So that support from 2 days ago is our resistance today. Super important level to keep in mind. That needs to be broken through. And the next resistance level would be up here at 150. And then I would even use 152 if you want to keep it in mind and look at that moving forward going into tomorrow. Now, based off of this quick run, the 50-day moving average right now is sitting, as I'm doing this video, at 138, and our support here is 137. So we're in tug of war zone, and that's so close. So another point I would look at to have some room here to watch this carefully is down here at 133, literally right there. 133 is like the midway point from this run. And 133 is a good point to remember, because that's our true support that we want to stay above of, right? So if this comes back down and it looks bearish, well, at least we have a point of reference to look at if the bulls reappear to pull it back up higher. But what they really need a breakthrough is 145, not just the 50-day moving average if they fall below it. They need to break through it, continue, break through 145, and even significantly get themselves up here to the 150, 152 mark, and keep pulling upwards to bring itself back up to newer highs, new resistance levels, and dominate in bullish territory. So if you learned something new, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to click on the bell so you don't miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community. And don't forget to smash that like button. It lets me know you appreciate this video, helps out the channel, and it lets me know that you appreciate the time that I put into making these videos. Now let's go ahead and let's see what ticker symbol you want to add to your watch list. So the ticker symbol that we have in front of us, I've talked about it several times in the last 2 weeks. I've talked about it over at the Patreon. I've talked about it here on YouTube towards the end of the videos more than once. I've even talked about how a lot of investors towards the point of the end of this video, which is this section of the video, investors are dropping out of the video, especially new investors that are coming across my channel and never have seen my channel. They just think about the chart analysis and they don't know about the second half. Well, for those of you that have made it to this point, you're going to learn something new. But I do want you guys to be aware that if you want to get the opportunity to get in on opportunities like this one as early as possible, you can join me over at the Patreon. The link is down below. And I now have a Discord chat room as well, where we talk about speculative plays with opportunities in the short term, right? Daily plays, swing trades, and so forth. So if you want to join us, the links are down below, and the slots have gotten filled up pretty fast. I think the first tier is already filled up, and the second tier has very minimal slots left. And then there's other tiers as well with upgrades as you go along, and you'll see that over at the Patreon. But it's ChargePoint, CHPT, ChargePoint Holdings Inc. This is the stock that I've been talking about since way back over here. So we're going to talk about that in just a moment. Now, I had watched how this stock reacted, how it brought itself back up, and this was the date and weekend that I talked about ChargePoint, okay? If you've seen this before, you already know what I'm talking about. If you're a Patreon member, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But stay tuned, because I'm going to talk about how I feel about this chart. So CHPT, everyone focuses on the EV car makers, but forget to focus on the source that gives the EV cars the fuel and drive it needs to perform its purpose. And I talked about how it touched $20 recently in the most recent pullback. I circled in the chart and it was pulling downwards. If it reached $20 or below, it was presenting itself as an opportunity. And from that point forward, you had to pay close attention. Now, I mentioned this on the 21st. Now, ChargePoint isn't the industry leader, but it's going to get its piece of the pie. That's exactly what I said. So the 21st was right here. This is the weekend. And the 22nd, the stock shot up to $24.94 from $23 and some change. Every single investor had the right to say, yo, like I thought this was pulling back. Well, all it took was 3 more days and it fell down closer to $20 to the point that it actually fell below it at $19.57. That was definitely a sign to pay very close attention and make a rational decision based off of your research and information. And that's exactly what happened. And we saw that. We caught that. If this was to have broken through $20 and go lower, I was going to get even more bullish, right? Now, this stock, I wasn't expecting it to run as fast as it did. I did expect it to get closer to 25 in the short term, but there was a lot of compounding effects that brought this one up to the point where it's at now. And a lot of investors are excited to the point that I have here a screenshot of one of the messages today, earlier today. I asked for permission to do this, blocked out everyone else's name, blocked out the person's name, and this is their message. Hey, bro, I bought the stock CHPT to try out your alerts, and I'm up 12%. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I had been on the red for so long, and I know one of the things to become a good trader is to learn to control one's emotions. That is very true, and that's what we're going to talk about in the stock market and emotional intelligence series over time. That's what I plan on doing. I was feeling a little discouraged, not even going to lie. LOL. And although I know the whole market was down as a whole, since I started buying the ones you have been learning, I'm starting to see green again. I'm very grateful, and this is only the beginning. Thanks, bro. I'm glad I found your YouTube page, and now I'm in your Patreon and Discord. I really like that you communicate well and respond as soon as you're able to. Like I said the other day, communication is key. I try to get back to everyone's messages like right away. But what I'm really excited about here, it's not the fact that CHPT, I saw the opportunity and it's green and it's up. It's not even about the stock. It's about the fact that someone that was feeling discouraged, like anyone could, right, is now motivated again, right? And they're starting to see green. They're also realizing that one's emotions need to be controlled. Those are all the things that we're doing here in Invest for Tomorrow. Not only on the Patreon and the Discord, but also here on the YouTube channel. I always remind you guys, right, to stay focused, control your emotions when I do analyze charts and stuff. So this right here is really exciting to see this type of behavior from members in the group, and it makes me happy to see that not only am I helping others, not only am I motivating others, but also the purpose and goal is being fulfilled for Invest for Tomorrow. So if you want to be a part of that, you can join us. Now, how do I feel about CHPT? Well, CHPT had a nice cool down here, and it's actually consolidating right now, and it's sitting at $30. I think this still has room to run. It might have to cool off again, maybe, just maybe, or consolidate sideways, and this is going to be able to run up towards the 40s, okay? Just got to give it some time. I'm not sure how long it'll take, but it will go through some volatility now. We saw such a fast spike here. I mean, we caught this one literally as it was falling. I told everyone at least $20 to watch it. We were able to caught it down here at the $19 mark for those that were watching it closely. And as it got closer to $20, at the end of the day, it's up a total amount here of literally almost $13 since we went ahead and stated to pay close attention for the opportunity. And that's what we do. We focus on opportunities, even when it doesn't make sense, because every single investor could have been like, yo, it's going up. You said this was going to get closer to $20. Now, I won't be right every single time, but trust me, I take a lot of time and effort to make these videos of chart analysis, and I love charts and I analyze charts. And when I see opportunities, I look for the details that are signaling that opportunity to get closer to that. And if it doesn't get all the way down to 20 or 19, I mean, even if it touched 21 or 22, you as an investor have to rationalize, okay, this is pretty close to $20. It's bouncing back up and consolidating. Let's say it did this a little bit higher up here. You have to decide and say, okay, this is looking like an opportunity. It might not hit $20, but this is the closest we got. And then it will take off anyways, right? So those are the things that I like to do, prepare and equip every single investor. And not only did I talk about it in the Patreon, I talked about it literally on the 26th here on YouTube. So on YouTube, towards the second half of the videos, every single investor had a chance almost as equal to the ones on Patreon. Then I talked about it again at $26, okay, here on YouTube. And I said there's still room. And look, it went up to 32. That was a total amount of $6. So if you missed out on the full run, you still got a nice 50% chunk of the run. Now, could this continue? I think this does have room to go upwards closer to 40 plus, but that might take some time. That's not going to happen overnight. And what I'm really looking for here now is consolidation or a slight pullback again like the one we saw, but closer to it or a little bit below it before it shoots up again to newer highs. As always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.